Pirates of the Caribbean, just another action movie with pirates, right? But can it be really deeper than that? Let's start with Jack.
10 years you carry that pistol, now you waste your shot.
He didn't waste it.
If to look closer at his whole story, in the last 13 years of his life, when he was marked as a pirate by Beckett, when he had to cut a deal with Jones to save his ship, and was betrayed by first mate Barbossa, who not only takes his ship but leaves him in a deserted island in the middle of nowhere, he had every right to be a villain, an audience could understand. Yet he doesn't become that at all. Because of his mannerism, the way he presents himself, sometimes it's really hard to even take him seriously. But what can you learn from someone like that? So in the first movie, there are many instances where Jack is shown as someone who wants to take his revenge. He's determined, obsessed even. He wants to take back his ship and get his revenge on Barbossa. That's why he carries that pistol with one shot of ammunition. But even though Jack is determined and obsessed about his goal, this goal doesn't define him. And all this his tragic story for him is just another story. He tells this to everybody. In the Port Royal, when he talks to two guards, all like Elizabeth falls stupidly into the rocks and somehow doesn't die, and to everyone else.
Black Pearl? I've heard stories. She's been preying on ships and settlements for near 10 years. Never leaves any survivors.
No survivors. Then where do the stories come from, I wonder?
And because he doesn't keep it all to himself, because he talks about it willingly, he doesn't become obsessed about the past person, and he doesn't become a miserable person, and he can just live his life as he wants to. Even though he has this goal, and even though he wants to take his revenge, it's still alive, those 10 years that he's been waiting. To better understand it, in the first movie, when he talks about the Black Pearl, he refers to it as freedom, and what he means by that is he can go everywhere he wants, whenever he wants. It's today's analogy to planes or cars, and it plays to the idea that life should be lived by our own rules, because even though Jack was obsessed about the past, and even though he wants to take his revenge on Barbossa, he can still keep living his life. He still find a way to live beyond this tragic past and the goal and revenge and all awful and tragic story that he has to go through. I think his whole principle and the idea of living is bestly summarized by Will in the third movie, when there's this negotiation scene in the island with Beckett, Jones, Elizabeth, Barbossa, Jack.
Will, I've been aboard the Dutchman. I understand the burden you bear, but I fear that cause is lost.
No cause is lost, if there is but one fool left to fight for it.
Jack waited 10 years to get his revenge. Time so long that it could seem like it's a lost cause, like there's nothing you can do, it's just lost, you have to give up. But if you're a fool like Jack, then there's truly no lost cause, just not your time. Is that really all? Don't give up and enjoy your life? Isn't that every story that was ever created? Well, yeah, but that's not all. When Jack and Barbossa are standing on the island looking at the dead Kraken, the eye of the sea legend that is just now gone, you have this very serious conversation about the state of the world, and Barbossa implies that the world is smaller than it used to be, while Jack disagrees, saying that it's simply not true. The world is still the same, they're just less in it. It's more about that there's less to discover, less to experience, less things. The map of the world is filling in. In the second movie, when we first met Beckett, on the wall of his office there's a big map. It's not ready yet, it's still painted, but some painters putting all the little details and narrowing the edges, so every space of the map is filling in. By the end of the movie, it's all done. Jack implies that the world is still the same, there's just less new things to discover, to experience, to do. And life in some way feels the same way, because reaching the milestones of adulthood makes the adolescence feel like a distant dream. Well, it's not. It may seem that every minute, every hour, every day, every year, the life of Romac is indeed filling in, so there's less things to discover, new things. But is it really? Sure, for Pirates veterans it may seem like so. There's just less legends, less discovered, there's nothing new under the sun, just old style piracy. But there's also a different approach to life and it's to change. Let's take a closer look at Elizabeth Swann, the governor's daughter who's from a very early age was obsessed with pirates. So much that not only she married one, she became the king of them all. And after that obsession and everything that happened, when her part of the story was over, she just quit and became a mother, a wife, and just started a completely different life, because we are truly bound by nothing. Even the pirate code is just a set of guidelines than the actual rules. One of my actual favorites comes from the deleted scene from the first movie, short after when Will helps Jack to escape his cell in Port Royal. Just take a look.
Hurry, someone will have heard that.
Not without my effects.
Why bother with that? You could have escaped if you'd killed me before, but you weren't willing to use it.
Are you advising me that was a mistake? When you've only got one shot, it's best to wait for the opportune moment. That wasn't it. Nor is this.
So you have one shot, and it's not a shot as ammunition in a pistol, but a shot in life to do the right thing, to live the right way, then you should use it, and you should not waste it. So you have to use it in an opportune moment. So don't waste it, be a fool, enjoy your life, and tell me, what is it that you want?